Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Turkey Store. We're also going to be talking about, I guess, post day one of Battleworld. I think my alliance is more or less done. What it's going to do in day one, and I want to talk about some of my issues with Battleworld currently, anyways, as it sits with the zones 1 to 5 kind of stuff and Spec Ops. I'm sure everyone wants me to talk about Spec Ops again because there's been a lot of complaints about that online. It's not very fun, and I'm going to tell you guys the best things that I think that you should be picking up out of the Turkey Store, because there's a lot of traps in my opinion, but this is going to depend on whether or not you're an early, mid gamer, or end game player. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's spoil this down. All right, gobble, 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 gobble. Turkey Store and Candy Store, of course. So I just want to do a bit of a recap on the Candy Store, just in terms of what am I doing with the Candy Store. Now, keep in mind, I think it's for another week that the Alliance don't... Oh, actually, before I get to that, I wanted to let people know about the Alliance donation box, because it did change a little bit, and now you can see that there is Shadow King Basic Awakened ability materials in here. So there is 2 that you can get, and the candy is available for like another week, I think. There's 2 of these. If you get the 3rd box, pumpkin, whatever, you get 2 per day. Now, if you get this last one, which is probably not happening because you're probably out of silver promo credits and nobody in their right mind is sending out dark promo credits, but if you happen to get this last one for some reason, you're getting 3 daily. That being said, 2 daily would require 100 days of this, and I really do not think that there is going to be 100 days of this with that. Maybe, but I highly doubt it, in the Alliance donations. Now, you can also get this for bang for your buck on the web milestone if you spend money, but that costs you $50 per week to get 50 of them. I don't think it's a very good deal. I think I spoke about this in my last video. There is, of the bang for your buck, but, yes, they added that in there. As far as where other else places you're going to get candy, it's really the Alliance donations and the Night Stalker showcases. And I guess if you happen to have 3-star or higher on Zombie Scarlet Witch, that you can get it there from her special campaign for the next 4 days. I'm actually, so I stopped buying the candy in here. I do have some candy coming in on a daily basis, but I stopped spending gold on this on my alt account, and for the most part on my main account as well, because I don't really need to do that. Now, what am I doing? I'm mostly saving for Captain Britain. He does cost 40,000, right? So I am saving my candy that I currently have. I'm not spending more gold into it, because actually the red gear, while I was buying a lot of this before, it actually has a better return value if you do it through the Turkey Store. So that's something to keep in mind. I just keep enough in the Candy Store just to make sure that if Captain Britain does appear, that I do pick it up. I don't pick up any other character shards like the other Illuminati anymore. There's no point. Black Panther Shuri is in the Spotlight Orb, so if you do need to finish her off, then she'll be there up to 7 yellow there, of course. And then Hank Pym, you could still buy him out of the Candy Store if you want. I mean, he is... You're probably not going to be buying him out of here, right? You're going to be... When you do eventually get enough Battleworld credits to buy a character, you're probably not going to be buying Hank Pym. You're probably going to get something like Gladiator or Thanos or something like that, or whoever you need to get up to the next star rank for the Shadow King trial when that eventually comes around in about 3 weeks' time. Now, the Turkey Store here, so I am buying the turkeys for the gold, but it's not for the Mephisto Red Star Orbs. I do want to talk about this very briefly. I think the value is outrageous, in my opinion. However, it's not that surprising either. But I do want to talk about the chances, the realistic chances of you getting anything. So you're gonna get 50 silver diamond credits as a consolation prize if you get nothing. But it is a random 1, 2, or 3 that you could get for any of these listed characters. It's, I mean, that's just probably the same as the regular orbs. 25% chance of Oath in there, though I didn't actually notice that until just now. So that's interesting. It's kind of like a sequel to, I guess, the Oath Diamond Orbs. So there's a slightly higher chance to get her there, I suppose. But it's only a 20% chance to get Mephisto 6 and 5% chance to get Mephisto 7. Now, if you were to open... You would have to open... If you open 5 of these orbs, hypothetically, you would have about a 75% chance or so of getting either of them, a 6 or a 7. It's not additive. You can't just add 25% 5 times. That's not how it works. And if you were to, you would have to open about 10 of them to basically have a guaranteed chance, pretty close to a guaranteed chance to at least get one of those. Now, I know some people are going to basically pull this until they get something of Mephisto, but do keep in mind that this is a very expensive, costly orb. It does cost you. There's most of these weekly events that we're getting only gives you about 40,000 turkeys free to play. So the rest of that, you're going to basically have to buy the turkeys through the gold store, and you need to get 10,000 for 600,000 gold. And then that means you'd have to buy this 25 times to get enough for one orb. And so this orb is going to cost you 15 million gold. It's quite expensive. So if you want to have a good chance of getting the Mephisto orb, or you could just get really lucky, right? Some people get like really lucky in casinos. You would want to pull about 5 of these orbs to have a good chance, like a 75% chance to be able to get it. And that's not even guaranteed. You could just whiff a bunch of times. That would cost you about 75 million gold. The types of people that I think would be pulling Mephisto Red Star orbs are either going to be people who like to gamble, or it's going to be people who have lots of spare gold and are already up to date on their roster. For my alt account, and frankly for my main account as well, I'm not up to date on my roster. I still have gold that I need to spend to level my characters up. And so I'm not going to be doing this. But I know the allure of the Red Star for Mephisto is going to be enough for some people. Just it won't be for me. The other thing that I want to talk about is the Moondragon Passive Awakened. This is a total and utter scam. Don't buy it. Please don't buy it. It's going to take you 100 purchases because you only get 2 of these and you need 200. The cost is, well, it's going to be about 100 times a day. 300,000. Sorry, turkeys. I don't know why I stumbled there. 300,000 turkeys. So it is quite expensive. It's about just over one of these Red Star orbs. It's not really that. It's just the fact that you have to buy it 100 times. And there's actually not that many free refreshes to get it. So you would have to core the store and make sure you're buying this every single refresh and on top of coring as well to get enough of this. Apparently, Doctor Strange's passive will appear at a later date, which means that you have even less time to buy his if he has 2x as well, just like the rest of them. They're all 2x here as well. So it's just really shit, I think, in my opinion. It is cheaper to get these, but it's just these are the same ones that were already in the candy store. So I think this is just utter garbage. Please don't take the bait. Also, it just changes the text that Moondragon gets in War and puts it, or sorry, in Battleworld and puts it into War. I think it's garbage. I think the whole Awaken system for the Astral Team is garbage for a game mode that most people don't really care that much about, which is Alliance War. So I just think this is a terrible use of your turkeys. I would rather, spend it on a Mephisto Red Star Orb and pray for the best, right? I think that would be a better use of your turkeys than Moondragon. Now, for mid-game players or early and mid-game players, I do want to talk about the value of the red gear, because this is way better than buying it through the candy store, because you can see that you get the same 10 that you would have got from the candy store, but for 14.3 thousand turkeys. So you would only have to buy like 1.5 of these. So you're getting it for about 850,000 gold, thereabouts, that you're getting this much, which is a lot, because this in the supply store costs 400,000 for one G19 mini. So you're getting a net value actually of like over 3 million gold in profits versus buying in the supply store. What this tells me, and what you should take away from this, do not buy red gear from the supply store ever. Like, don't buy it unless you're super desperate for like one item, for like a unique or something, but otherwise don't, because it's just so expensive. Even the uniques are 800,000 a piece in the supply store as well, and you can just get it for a significantly better return if you buy this. Now, the origin pieces, it's kind of like the candy store. You're not going to profit as much. Now, if this was 200, that would have been better, but it's only 100, and so you're not profiting as much from a gold perspective if you were buying these. Uniques and G19 minis, and which they also appear down here. And there's way more slots actually compared to the candy store. There was only like a couple of them over here. There was like 3, and now the candy store has like 6. You got like 2 origin slots and like 2 unique slots and 2. It's great. It's so much better. So it's just really just pushing this, that I think I can almost tell you right without a doubt, G20 is around the corner and a level cap is going to be for December. So they're trying to bait not only you to spend gold and blow your gold on these Mephisto Red Star orbs, but they're also just really pushing red gear really rapidly because they know that something is coming around the corner, right? Like they want, they're chucking it at you so hard that, everyone's going to have Mephisto soon because it's just super easy. Honestly, my alt account is going to have Mephisto within a week. I'm in the last section. I'm in the DD7 Mythic section on my alt account. I think it's pretty wild, actually, if I got to be honest. And if you really do want to buy Hank Pam Shards, I think it's actually better to get it out of the turkey store than the candy store, because you might as well save your candy or Captain Britain. Now, they did say that they were going to add more stuff down the line into the turkey store later on, so we'll have to see, as the weeks go on, what they add and whether or not it's worth it, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think the turkey store is as good for endgame players. Not a lot to get unless you're gambling on the Mephisto Red Star Orb, which I'm not. But for early and mid game players, great opportunity to pick up red gear. So let's talk about the second part of the video, which is going to be what I've kind of learned so far about Battleworld, but also just my thoughts on it, I suppose, at this point. So, I mean, we still got time left, right? I think I have 14 hours left on mine, but for the most part, I think my alliance is basically, this is my alt account, but pretty much both alliances have done more or less the same, but they've kind of varied on what they've done in Spec Ops. Now, one thing that I learned firsthand was that Spec Ops 6 and 8 suck big time. I think I said this in my other video, but Spec Ops 8 requires a 1 diamond gladiator. If you don't have enough people to fill that, 29 out of 30 is the same as 0 out of 30, which is complete and utter garbage. So if they're going to change the Spec Ops system, they need to make sure that they need to add some way that contributing or clearing some of these character slots actually gives you points. I think it's outright dirty that you don't get points for anything until it's 30 out of 30, right? Like you can see here, completed. Spec Ops 1 is completed, Spec Ops 2 completed, Spec Ops 3 completed, 4 and 5 is almost done. Hopefully there's like a couple more people that haven't done anything, so hopefully we can clear 4 and 5. Also, it is 5,000 points for the Alliance milestone per Spec Ops circle cleared. And why I think this is dirty and garbage is because we're kind of learning Battleworld right now, right? And a lot of people don't really understand what's going on, and they kind of chucked that Alliance milestone at us that required us to completely clear these Spec Ops circles. But when you really think about it, Spec Ops in the grand scheme of things doesn't actually contribute that much to VPs compared to doing your battle missions. And that's where it matters. It actually matters so much more that you're just doing your battle missions, right? The elite missions, for example, gives you 5,410 VPs. And so if all 24 members clear this, which we haven't in my alt account, it's fine. But it's just so much more VPs overall, right? 220,000. Spec Ops does not give that much. I believe it's like 30K. If you add up all these numbers together, it's like 30,000, right? So it's almost nothing compared to what, you'd get out of doing the combat missions. So I do still believe that clearing the combat missions is more important than clearing your Spec Ops. But they made that Alliance milestone, right? Cosmic, whatever. And so they want you to clear these. And they're kind of like forcing you to do Spec Ops through that milestone, when realistically, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't actually mean all that much. And I do want to look ahead a little bit to Zone 2 for tomorrow. And I want to let people know I guess it's going to be today. I'm recording it a day early. But as far as what the Spec Ops, pain points are going to be for Zone 2, I'm not sure if it's going to be any of these, actually. I think SO8 is kind of fine. I think it's, where is it? This one might be an issue. Nimrod G19, Sasquatch G19, possibly. I'm looking at things that, my alt account doesn't have. 6 red zombie Iron Man. This is a big one on SO6. If you don't have 5 players, you might as well skip it. So if you know for a fact that your alliance does not have 5 people that can complete some of these requirements, skip it completely. Tell them, say, hey guys, do not add anything to this, because if you do not complete it, you don't get points, and that's the garbage part. We also have G17 Ares for some alliances, maybe, right? That could be a small issue. And then we have Gear Tier 15 for Zugs and Dr. Doom for early and mid-game alliances. This could be a huge problem too, because they're kind of luxury characters at this point. Doom is not meta in the slightest, and I believe there is also a 3 yellow Captain Britain here in Spec Ops 1. So if you don't have 5 members who have unlocked Captain Britain at this point, I hope that you have, but some people might not have. Then that's a bit of an issue there too, right? Spec Ops 2 overall or Zone 2 is not that bad overall, but you need to really kind of consider those instances where if you don't fully complete the circle, it's a bit of a big problem, right? Because you're not going to get any points at all. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Also, the other thing is I feel like the rewards are incredibly lackluster on the elite missions. Now, I may have said this in my other video, but I wanted to put this more into perspective here in the total. So 2750 and 2350 ions. Okay, so this is per day, and every zone is going to have one of these. So you're basically getting this times 5, right? So in difficulty 0, this would be equivalent to about 13,000 purple ions at this one, just let's hypothetically, right? And then if you go into where they talk about the difficulties and what it's going to be like in D5, it's actually not that good. And that's where I'm disappointed about the rewards for Battle World overall. And I feel it's a bit lackluster. If we scroll over to difficulty 5, you can see here, and it actually tells you what the percentage of the formula is going to be increased by 300% at D5, which means everything that you saw before, the 2300 value, that'll be tripled to about 6900 or 7000 or something around there, times 5. So the elite missions would be valued at, let's say, 35 to 40,000 ions for the week, which is actually very low. And same with the boss battle purple ions for null, it's 3 times as much at D5 as well, but it's still not that much. And the majority of purple ions is going to come from the elite missions and the boss battle, these two, right? So you're looking at less than 100,000 ions, purple ions per week on D5. And that's pitiful compared to some of what we were getting in Night Raid and Dark Future from the Alliance Raid stuff before. We were getting those of us who were able to clear the milestones, right? We're getting 500,000 ions per week. And it's a huge decline. And they also decreased the total amount of Battle World credits. I'm pretty much done day 1. I know it's D0, but I've only got 540 Battle World credits. And if you're running Battle World at, like, say, D0, 1, 2, that kind of thing, you're probably getting like next to no Battle World credits on a weekly basis, or not a lot. You maybe could buy like 15 shards a week. It just seems really, really bad. It feels worse than what I remember from Cosmic Crucible when that first came out. So I have a little bit of an issue with the amount of rewards that we appear to be getting. And I don't know how far we'll actually end up getting on the rewards tree, because if I'm getting a D0, 220k for the day times 5 plus the null boss, like I think we're looking at like 1.5 million maybe. And that might get us to like tier 3, right? Which is like 3,600 credits for the week. And that's like not even enough for a purchase of 5 shards for the Annihilators. And that just seems terrible. And then I guess we'll see like I guess by like week 4, like 3 weeks from now. But I still have a feeling that I'm going to feel the same, because you can see the formula and how it kind of like adds on, and we can total exactly what we're going to be getting by difficulty 5, and it just doesn't look great. Anyways, that's my thoughts for this video. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below, and what your plans are for the Turkey store, and what your thoughts are, I guess your initial thoughts are on Battle World and how you feel about it. That's it for now, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.